Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Citi News.
It's midday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Citi Prime News, which is live from our studios at number 11 Dr. Morton Loop in Adabraka, Accra. It's also live on all our partner stations across the country and around the globe on citinewsroom.com. I am Wilma, Obuobisa, Coleman, and this afternoon I'm here with
Charles Owusu, Kumi.
Coming up in the next 1 hour, government urges Ghanaians to embrace 3 new taxes projected to raise some 4 billion cedis as part of plans to ensure economic recovery.
Let us look at the bigger picture. We want to do this in the interest of the whole nation, and it is a form of burden sharing that let's all contribute something to make our nation better than what it is now.
Meanwhile, the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana is kicking against the proposed taxes, saying it will cripple their businesses. Still ahead, nearly 3 years after government observed the Green Ghana Day, the Seedlings Contractors Association says members have still not been paid for the supplies.
I went in for a loan from the bank, and it's very pathetic. But when we go there, the way he treats us, as if we are not part of Ghanaians. So please, we are pleading with Nana Kufuor. We know you love your people. Please, come to our aid. This morning, we heard you have paid the money, but we don't know where the money is.
And later, Black Stars of Ghana take on Angola later today at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium in the African Cup of Nations qualifiers.
Oh, Blaster will beat Angola 3-0. 3-0. No defeat. Okay. The way I see the players, I saw it that this time. It's wonderful.
We are live in Kumasi to gauge the mood of the area ahead of the game. Stay tuned as we bring you details of all that and more on the Citi Prime News, which is live on all our affiliates across the country. In the Western region, we are on Premier 100.5 FM and Beach 105.5 FM in Takrade. In the Bono region, we're on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani. In the Ashanti region, we're on Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi. In the Eastern region, we're on Right 90.1 FM in Somanya. In the Volta region, you're listening to us on Holy 98.5 FM in Aflao. In the Northern region, we're on Dasuma 99.1 FM in Yendi. In the Upper East, we're on Word 88.3 FM in Zwarungu. In the Upper West, we're on Bugli Radio 88.6 FM in Wa.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Many thanks for your time this afternoon. We'll settle for the details of our stories now. A Deputy Minister of Finance, Abna Osei-Asare, has denied accusations that government has refused to review its flagship programs to help save the public purse. The government is seeking to introduce 3 new taxes projected to raise some 4 billion cedis. The taxes are the Income Tax Amendment Bill, Excise Duty and Excise Tax Stamp Amendment Bills, and Growth and Sustainability Levy. But many have slammed the government for burdening the public while refusing to listen to calls for the government to cut down on its expenditure. In an interview with host of the Citi Breakfast Show, Bernard Avle, Abna Osei-Asare argued that the government has made over 20% cut on its flagship programs.
The things that we can work on to make sure we make a drastic reduction is the interest payments and the principal payment of our debt. And that is what we seek to address, because that alone is about 53 billion. When you take that 53 billion out of the appropriation, you save quite a huge amount of money. So this is what we have to address. And then also we need to look at the inefficiencies in our compensation management, because compensation alone is more than about 50 billion. So these are some of the things that we should look at, and that is why we are coming up with the biometric is enforced, and we are making sure that we validate people we pay. So we are introducing efficiency measures as well as actually cutting down.
There have been calls for reviewing of government flagship programs. The president has flatly refused to do this.
No,
Free
very
SHS
important. You are
and
right.
all. I mean, for me, if a government that is telling me that I should pay more taxes and that we should burden share
Has reviewed
has
its
this.
flagship program.
Well,
Previously, NAPCO
no,
was on
the government, the president was very clear. He says there will be no review of free SHS.
In the 2023, NAPCO is no more on the flagship program. Government has saved close to $1 billion. So it is not that government has refused to listen. NAPCO, which was one of government's flagship program, which had a budget of close to $1 billion, is no more on the budget. So government is listening.
No, but now NAPCO expired though. NAPCO was not. I don't. My understanding of NAPCO was not. It was not a perpetual program. So NAPCO came to its sunset. Free SHS has not been reviewed. A lot of the government flagships are still on.
Saying that we are going to review not just free SHS. There are so many flagship programs that government is reviewing to bring about efficiency in the way we manage these things. And we believe once we review and bring about some level of efficiency, it will also reduce the cost. Government accepts that, yes, after 3 to 5 years of implementation of a particular policy, we need to sit back and look at it. Government hasn't refused to review free SHS. Government says, I will do that. And in doing that, we believe that it will come up with certain challenges and certain efficiencies and certain inefficiencies in the system that we may have to look at and address. We understand. Government is addressing the situation of reducing its flagship program. And we have seen that and when you compare the 2023 flagship program budget to 2022, there has been a cut of more than 20%. Yes, aside taking out NAPCO, there has been a reduction in the budget for the flagship program from 2022 to 2023. There's been about 20% reduction. So it is tough, but we are listening. And maybe you haven't felt the impact as we speak, but with time, we will all feel the impact. It is not that government has turned a blind eye or a deaf ear to what Ghanaians are saying. Government has reviewed the flagship program, and we have reduced it by 20%.
Abnal Sayasari also disagrees with arguments that the new taxes will lead to job losses.
This is something that we have to do, in as much as increasing taxes does not necessarily mean companies are going to lay workers off. Maybe they are also going to look within themselves and see how best they can cut other operations other than employees off. But let us look at the bigger picture. We want to do this in the interest of the whole nation. And it is a form of burden sharing that let's all contribute something to make our nation better than what it is now. And Bernard, you agree with me that when things were good, we were all enjoying it. We were all in this country when things were moving well. Inflation was below 10%. The CD dollar depreciation was way below 6%. We all benefited from this. And this is where we find ourselves as a result of the slow recovery of the economy from the shocks of COVID-19, as well as the Russian-Ukraine war effect. So this is where we are, and we are asking that support us in this regard. It's for 3 years. We are hoping that within that 3 years, we will do everything possible to make sure we bring the economy back on track. And then businesses will return to, things will return to normal, and then we can continue to enjoy the kind of atmosphere and successes that we were all enjoying.
Now, we understand the need for revenue, but the question is the approach chosen progressive? All the properties in Ghana that don't pay property tax, how much is government estimating it can get if it decides to enforce the regulation of property tax?
Okay, Bernard, we have done something in that regard, and this time, government is not sitting at the center to collect these revenues. Government has, through GRA, has partnered with the municipal, metropolitan, and district assemblies. And so what government is doing is to help them collect their taxes at those places and leave 60% of those monies at the various places, and only 40% comes to the center. And government is hoping that this will boost development in the areas, in the municipal assemblies and metropolitan as well.
Abna Osei Asare is a Deputy Minister of Finance. Now we'll go over the phone lines to speak to our parliamentary correspondent, Ni Ayikwe Okan, to tell us more on these revenue bills that are to be laid in Parliament. Good afternoon, Ni Ayikwe. Many thanks for joining us. Now, what's the state of these revenue bills to be laid today?
Okay, so Wilma, we have the government laying before Parliament some three amended bills as part of measures to revamp or enhance domestic revenue mobilization. And if you would recall, the president in the State of the Nation address appealed to Parliament to ensure that these bills are actually passed in no time to ensure that the government is able to secure the International Monetary Fund bailout, $3 billion bailout support. So, and aside this, we also have the majority leader, Owusu, and the finance minister, or Coleman, for these three key bills. That is the income tax amendment bill, the excise duty amendment bill, and the growth and sustainability amendment bill to be passed so that government would be able to rake in. It is expected that the government would be able to rake in 4 billion Ghana cedis with these particular bills that are before the House. But over the period, we've seen these bills in the agenda of Parliament, but they had not been taken. However, information we are gathering is that it is likely that these bills could be considered today by the House. So currently, the House hasn't commenced proceedings yet, but we are hoping that it will be part of the agenda for discussion today, Wilma.
Now, what other things are on the agenda for the Parliament today?
We also have the ministerial nominees who were actually appointed by President Akufo-Addo some few weeks ago and vetted by the Appointments Committee of Parliament. These are ministers, precisely Katie Hammond Adansia Sokwa MP, who was appointed to serve as the Minister for Trade and Industry, and also Brian Achampon, the Agric Minister, the Dr. Stephen Amwa, who is also expected to serve as the Deputy Trade and Industry Minister, among other Ministers of State and Deputy. It is expected that these ministers would also be considered, but we are not too sure whether that will be done today because the majority do not have the required numbers for that approval to be done today, as well as the minority side. We are not too sure whether they have the full complement of the numbers to be able to approve these ministers appointed by President Akufo-Addo. However, it is key on the agenda of the House, and also the constitutional instrument by the Electoral Commission that is also seeking to use the Ghana card as the source document for registration onto the voter's ID card. We know there's been some, issues stemming out from this particular CI. The minority has already opposed to plans by the EC to eliminate the guarantor system and rather, deal with the Ghana card as a document for registration onto the voters' ID card. So these three issues, precisely the CI, ECCI, the ministerial nominees approval, as well as the revenue bills before Parliament, are expected to be considered today or before the House rises, expectedly next week. Over.
Thank you so much for that. That was our parliamentary correspondent, Ni Ayikwe Okain.
We'll stay with the revenue bills sent to Parliament by government. The executive chairman of the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana, John Awuni, is calling on Parliament not to pass government-proposed taxes.
We are concerned about all of them, most particularly the 20% excise duty on fruit juices and water. We are concerned about the 5% group and sustainability tax, and the last one as well. But most particularly those two bills, we think that Parliament must not approve them. We think that it's overburdening the private sector. And as we say, the private sector is the engine of growth of the economy. So if the economy is struggling, it points to the fact that the private sector is not doing well. If the private sector were doing well, the economy will not struggle. In any case, if the economy is struggling, one or two private sector players, if they were doing well, could sponsor the country, could send the country out. The 3 billion cedis they are looking from IMF, private sector, it was doing well, could have taken them out. We are against that because clearly those deals are going to send the private sector down below the line. We began the year with an increase in DAT from 12.5 to 15%. increase in water tariffs, increase in electricity tariffs, depreciation of the currency. And we have had this challenge right down from COVID-19 to 2019 down to this today. There should not be any reason why government must go out to bring in further tax in the name of raising revenue, when there are huge gaps of revenue mobilizations that they have not been able to explore.
John Awuni is Executive Chairman of the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana.
Now we'll go to the Ashanti region because the Seedling Contractors Association there is calling on government to, as a matter of urgency, pay the over 2.3 billion Ghana cedis it owes its members for the supply of seedlings for the tree planting exercise during the Green Ghana Day celebrations for the year 2021 and 2022. According to the association, several engagements with the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources and the Forestry Commission for government to pay them have been unsuccessful, despite the many assurances. The members of the association say they are currently frustrated as they are constantly being harassed by the banks they secured loans from to procure the seedlings. Speaking to Citi News, the secretary of the Ashanti Region Seedlings Contractors Association, Gloria Amponsa, called on President Akufo-Addo to intervene in ensuring that they are paid to lessen their burden.
We've been to the Forestry Commission several times to no avail. We went there. Sometimes we even sleep there, but all the promises they give us has not come to pass. We have gone to the Lands Commission and Natural Resources, yet all their promises have not been fulfilled. We have also contacted Benito, who is in charge of the Green Ghana Seedling Project. But it's unfortunate. When we go there, he treats us like we are not humans. He doesn't feel for us. As I'm standing here, I have 5 children, and I'm taking care of them. I went in for a loan from the bank, and it's very pathetic. But when we go there, the way he treats us, as if we are not part of Ghanaians. So please, we are pleading with Nana Akufo-Addo. We know you love your people. Please, come to our aid. This morning, we heard you have paid the money, but we don't know where the money is.
You hear the secretary of the Ashanti Region Seedlings Contractors Association, Gloria Amponsa.
We'll stay in the Ashanti region, where the Ghana Water Company Limited says it is experiencing a worrying trend where many communities are engaging in what it describes as water theft. According to the company, the practice is common in areas such as Moshizongo and Abuabo. Speaking to journalists after visiting the community for an engagement with residents, the chief water manager for Ashanti North, Francis Mensah, said people are also stealing meters, which is badly affecting operations.
We have been experiencing water theft for most of the communities in the Ashanti region here. And the worst communities are Moshizongo, Abuabo, and other areas. Our men on the field report not less than 10 meter theft, especially from Moshizongo here. And the meters are very, very, very expensive. And this time is the policy of Ghana Water Company to install smart meters. And these smart meters are very, very expensive, yet people steal them. And after stealing these meters, whilst making arrangements to replace them, you bill our customers on average, or you put them on average to the complaint. So I was just trying to appeal to the community. Most of the communities have watchdog committees, and they are they have upped their game, but I don't see similar thing in Moshizongo. So on the occasion of World Water Day celebration, I wanted to remind them about the responsibilities of the watchdog committee here to be up and doing, so that to reduce the meter theft that has been taking place here.
Francis Mensah also disclosed that the Ghana Water Company Limited has begun processing clients with huge debts for court, where they would be made to pay their water bills with interest.
People easily go to ECG on their own volition to pay their electricity bills. But when it comes to water bills, they will wait in their houses for us to come to them to demand payment of their bills. I mean, sometimes when you visit their houses, they pick quarrels with our men on the field, sometimes resulting in in fiscals, which is unacceptable behavior. So what we have decided to do is to process those who have huge arrears to court. And we have started. We have started with about 66 of such customers. And very soon, they will appear before court. And I was advising them that instead of waiting for you to go to court and pay your main water bills plus interest, it will be better if you pay the bills before you go to court. And illegal connections. Illegal connections is one area where it's actually denting the image of our company. Anytime you're even going for tariff increments, you are told by PURC that you have a lot of non-revenue water because these illegal activities result into huge non-revenue water that you cannot bill, water that you cannot account for. Sometimes when you convert the non-revenue water into figures, it can pay for our salary for about 6 months if you stop even billing.
That was the Chief Water Manager for Ashanti North of the Ghana Water Company Limited, Francis Mensah.
You're still listening to the Citi Prime News live from our studios at Adaraka in Accra. Still ahead in the bulletin, Black Stars of Ghana take on Angola later today at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium in the African Cup of Nations qualifiers. We'll bring you details of that and others shortly. Do stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Keys. What could be simpler than a key? Who doesn't have a key? A car key, an office key, a drawer key. But there's one key that rules them all. The house key. The key to a place we call home. The key to the home where everything comes together. The key to a home that is our own. A home where we make life happen with our families and loved ones. Adoha has been working hard for over 30 years to make home ownership within reach for many. Say yes to property with Adoha. Your dream home is one call away. Your dream home is a few clicks away. Visit our Accra project, The Place, by calling 030-2789-757.
Listen up, people. There's good news for Airtel Tigo customers who haven't started and those who are yet to complete their SIM re-registration. Yes, good news. Complete your SIM re-registration and get free 5 GB data falla to browse, chat, Zoom, TikTok, Snap, and do more on Airtel Tigo to change your world. If your SIM has been blocked, don't worry. You can have your number back and also get a whopping 5 GB data as soon as you register with your Ghana card. Simply visit the nearest Airtel Tigo shop or agent today. Complete your SIM registration now. Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Now, the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC, has urged the media not to relent on efforts in educating the general public about the effect of illegal mining on the environment and water bodies. According to the PURC, the only way the country can make strides in the fight against illegal mining is through continuous education of the masses on the effects of galamsey. Speaking at an event held at Bukono in the Ilokrobo municipality to commemorate the World Water Day, the Eastern Regional Minister of PURC, the Eastern Regional Manager, of PURC, Jude Ediamwa Ado, urged the media to revisit galamsey advocacy to help save water bodies.
The situation might have slightly improved in some parts of the region, but there's still the need to do more. May I use this platform to implore the media and all of us here to help educate people in our communities about the effects of illegal mining in our water bodies. The more the raw water is polluted, the more chemicals and money is needed. The Utilities Regulatory Commission has declared 2023 the year of operational efficiency, aimed at ensuring a balance between the quality of service delivery and revenue recovery. This is to help both providers and consumers keep their size of the contract between them. Mr. Chairman, it is worthy to mention that PUHC has a new ally, which makes it possible for not only consumers to lodge complaints against the utility, but that the utility companies can also lodge complaints against any other utility company and consumers. So far, we have received 48 complaints from GWCL, leading to the recovery of 326,000 Ghana cedis of those who were defaulting in their payment for 2023 alone.
Jude Ediama Ado is the Eastern Regional Manager of the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission. Now, the Eastern Regional Minister Seth Kwame Champong, who indicated that government has not abandoned the Galamsey fight, called on traditional authorities and other stakeholders to report persons involved in the pollution of water bodies.
Deepen the advocacy. Government is saying that it is putting in an effort 4 times higher than it used to be to ensure that we achieve the set targets. I want to make this a clarion call for all of us as stakeholders. Government alone will not be able to protect all the water bodies. I'm calling on traditional authorities, calling on social leadership, opinion leaders, faith-based organizations, all of us in our various communities. Let's be watchdog characters. As watchdog characters, if you find any activity untoward, kindly draw our attention and we'll get a rapid response team to be on site to help protect the water body. Please, I believe in protecting God's providence that is offered us in terms of our water resources. Let us all help in protecting the water resources.
Seth Kwame Champong is the Eastern Regional Minister.
Now to some football. The Black Stars of Ghana take on Angola later this afternoon at the Baba Yara Stadium in Kumasi in a 2023 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier. This is the first game to be played by the senior national team after crashing out of the group stage at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. The game is also the first for new head coach Chris Hughton. City Sports' Yao Ejeminta has more in this report.
Ghana's national men's football team, the Black Stars, continues its journey to the 2023 AFCON to be held in Côte d'Ivoire with a 2-legged tie against Angola on Thursday, March 23 at the Baba Yara Stadium in Kumasi. The game is the first time Chris Hughton will take charge of the team as head coach after being elevated from his role as technical advisor under immediate past head coach Otto Addo. The former Irish international has been widely considered a safe pair of hands to steer the Black Stars towards ending a 41-year title drought. In the lead-up to the game, goalkeeper Jojo Wallacott suffered a minor freak toe injury after getting hit by a post in training. The Charlton Athletic goalkeeper just returned from a finger injury that ruled him out of the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. But Hughton allayed fears of a major injury, stating, "Wallacott is fine, but did raise concerns about defender Mohamed Salisu's fitness."
Yes, he is fine. And also, I think he posted it anyway. I'm not somebody that goes onto social media, but I understand the significance of it. And I think there's something that went out that actually wasn't from Joe Wallacott. So, no, he is fine. Of course, at the time, there's concern, but very shortly afterwards, we determined that he is fine. And yes, it was a very unfortunate incident. This probably gives me an opportunity. I think it was somebody else who spoke about Tariq, the injury. If I look at the squad where we are, the only concerns would be about Mohamed Salisu, who's there's been some concerns about him over the last few weeks. He's had some difficulties, some injury difficulties over the last 2 weeks. His club although he played last week, the club have used him sparingly because of that, because of some of the issues. So this is one that we have to consider. So he would be, from the squad that we have, he would be the only doubt that we would have, and it's something that we will have to determine and think about today and tomorrow.
While Hilton is confident of commencing his reign with a win, he is wary of the threat from the Palancras Negras.
Angola is if I look at my involvement in the team, the squad, the association, of course, it was before I was made head coach. So I was aware, of course, as soon as the campaign started and the draw would play Angola. So yes, as each coach would do, I've studied them in their last 5, 6, 7 games. Technically, a very good team. And obviously the very sort of Portuguese influence, a lot of good technical players. So I am in no doubt that it's strong and tough opposition. So we have to plan for that, as we would do for any opposition. But certainly they have the capabilities that if we are not to play as well as what I would like to, that they can cause us a lot of problems. And we will have to play well.
Kumasi is known for its passionate football fans and for the sizable crowd that showed up at the Black Stars training sessions at the Baba Yara Stadium. Nothing but a big win is expected.
We are coming and support them, then they see they have more supporters in Kumasi. That's why we are gathered together and come and do that thing for them.
We are expecting bigger. We know the Angola team, we know how disciplined they are, we know how good they are, but we are better. Because we have been to the World Cup and we've played. We've learned so many things. So we expect very big tomorrow. But what we are expecting that Kumasi people, like they did it against Ghana against Nigeria, they came to the stadium in numbers. They should come to the stadium in numbers. That is what we are expecting from the spectators.
I was in the working place. I'm going to Santa City, coming back. I saw the Black Stars buses running. I said, there's a match here. People didn't know the match is here. By the time I entered the stadium, I saw more people here. They are coming to watching this training session. But it's so fantastic. People came here too much. I think it's better than that one we are playing out.
So you are confident that the Black Stars will beat Angola?
Oh, Black Stars will beat Angola 3-0. 3-0. No defeat.
Okay. Why are you so confident?
Because the way I see the players, I saw it this time. It's wonderful. Since time I saw Abedi and Ayu and this player, Anthony Abua time. That's what I saw this year. We are so sorry we lost one of our player. That's serious man. But this one, I think tomorrow we win.
After another disappointing run at a major tournament in the wake of Ghana's early exit from the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, another opportunity has been presented to Chris Hilton and his men to bring a long-awaited trophy to Ghana.
That report was put together by City Sports' Yao Ej Minta.
Now, Yao Ej Minta joins me live from Kumasi over the phone lines to tell us more. Good afternoon, Yao. Many thanks for joining us. Now, you watched the Black Stars final training session at the stadium last night. What did you pick from the training? Hello? Hello, Yao.
Hello?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yao, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, we realized you won the Black Stars match final training yesterday, right? We're asking, what did you pick from the training?
Well, good afternoon, Wilma. What I picked up from the Black Stars training last night was that Jojo Wallacott, the goalkeeper for the Black Stars, is fine. He suffered a freak injury after he got struck by a goalpost. That was carried away by a gust of wind. He suffered a minor injury, but he's been cleared to be in line to start for today's game. And there was also a little bit of an injury concern for Mohamed Salisu. That was confirmed by Chris Hilton, the head coach of the Black Stars, and he is a major doubt for today's game because he just returned from injury and he played his first game since that injury this past weekend for Southampton. And even with that, he wasn't the starter. He came in as as an injury replacement for Bella Kopchap, his teammate who hurt his shoulder and had to leave the game in the 11th minute. And so that was the standout pickouts from yesterday's training session.
Now, what are the happenings on the ground? Have fans started trooping in the stadium, and what's the general sense ahead of today's game?
Yes, fans are streaming into the stadium. It's 12:23. The game kicks off at 4 p.m. It's quite hot out here, 32 degrees, but I checked the temperature. It feels like 35 degrees because of the humidity, and fans are trickling into the stadium, are trying to find shelter to beat the heat. But the ambience is quite positive. The ambience is quite good. I can, off the top of my hand, I can count at least over 1,500 people who have made their way to the stadium with several fans at the gate trying to gain access, trying to go through the e-ticketing process to be able to get access to the stadium. And so, yes, the ambiance is good, and things are looking positive ahead of the game later today.
Now, what's the latest on the Black Stars opponents Angola after they arrived late in Ghana for the game?
Yes. For the Palancas Negras of Angola, they had some travel issues because they came with a charter flight, and unfortunately they couldn't fly directly to Kumasi because, as you well know, the Kumasi airport is not yet fit to be able to take on such big carriers, and so they had to make a stop at the Kotoka International Airport in Accra and board a different flight to Kumasi, and that's what led to the late arrival of the Angolan national team to Kumasi. But yes, I can confirm that they made it to Kumasi. They made it to Kumasi at 8 p.m. Last night, and unfortunately, they didn't train. They didn't train at the Baba Yara Stadium as CAF stipulates, and they didn't even give a presser. So they are quite being quite. I wouldn't say surreptitious with their movement, but they are taking things. They are keeping a low profile, if I can put it that way, before the start of the game. And so that's the little bit of an update on the Angola national team. Yes, I can confirm that they are in Kumasi and they are set to play in today's game.
Right now, finally, before we let you go, what are your expectations for today's game?
Expectations. Well, I've spoken to a couple of fans, and they are quite upbeat about the chances of the Black Stars. Looking at the promise that they showed at the FIFA World Cup held last year in Qatar. Ghana went into that tournament as the youngest team in the World Cup, and the Ghana team recorded 2 losses. That's why the fact that Ghana lost twice. We did show a lot of promise, and many believe that Chris Hughes, who was part of the team then as the technical advisor, and now being promoted to the head coaching role, it's a safe pair of hands, and he will be able to guide these young stars to be able to end Ghana's 41-year title drought. And so expectations are quite high, and looking at what we've seen so far from the last, yes, people are upbeat about the chances of the Black Stars, looking at the history between Ghana and Angola. And the last time Ghana played against Angola was in 2010, and Ghana won that game. That was in the 2010 AFCON held in Angola. Ghana beat the home country, the host nation, by a goal to nil to progress to the semi-final of that tournament. So looking at the history, looking at the fact that Kiki is viewed as a safe pair of hands, and the promise of brilliant players comes with like Mohamed Kudus, Osman Bukari, and Kamal bin Suleiman. The fans are quite upbeat about the chances of Ghana recording at least a 2-0 win over Angola ahead of the second leg to be played later this week in the Southern African League.
Well, thank you so much for that update. That was City Sports Yao AJ Minta giving us a feel of what's happening in Kumasi ahead of today's match between Ghana and Angola. We are joined in studio by City Sports Evans Ofuchu Manso to also tell us something, a little something. Now, Evans, thank you for joining us. Yao mentioned that Mohamed Salisu has been injured. How big a blow is this for us?
Well, this is a very huge blow for the nation. For such a player who's had a very good World Cup campaign, I can see that many Ghanaians out there have fallen in love with Mohamed Salisu and what he's brought on board to the Black Stars team. At the World Cup, he was very solid alongside Daniel Amate. And so he's one of the kingpins on this Black Stars squad. For his club side as well, he's played very well for Southampton, if not for the injury concerns that he suffered recently. So it's a huge blow for the national team. But I can say that, Wilma, we have enough replacement for him because when it comes to the heart of the Black Stars defense, aside Mohamed Salisu, there's the likes of Alexander Djiku, there's also Joseph Edu, who are top centre-backs in Europe, and they can equally cover the absence of Mohamed Salisu.
Right. Now, what's at stake in this match?
So, obviously, the 3 maximum points. So, it's an AFCON qualifier for the tournament next year in Ivory Coast. At the moment, Ghana top of the Group E with 4 points. Angola are second with 4 points as well. So, there's 3 points at stake, meaning that a win for the Black Stars will take them to 7 points and 3 points better than the Angolan team. Also, earlier, before this game, there will be that one involving Madagascar and the Central African Republic. So the Black Stars will get to know how the other opponents in the group are faring before they face Angola. So the 3 points at stake too. It's the first official game for Chris Hughton. You know, he was the technical advisor. Now he's the main man in charge. And so also at stake is his first game, how he gets to start his tenure in charge of the Black Stars. Looking at our last 5 coaches, Motoado started his tenure with a goalless draw against Nigeria. Milovan Raivac, he defeated Zimbabwe in his first game by 3-1. Siki Akono, he lost his first game to Mali by 3-0. Kwesi Appiah, in his second coming, whipped Ethiopia by 5-0 in his first game during his second stint. And Avram Grant also lost by 2-1 to Senegal in his first game. So we get to see how Chris Hughton also starts his first official game in charge of the Black Stars. And the third option is that it's a chance for the Black Stars to win back the love from Ghanaians once again after that disastrous World Cup campaign where they finished bottom of the group. And they are returning to Kumasi, a venue where they last played against Nigeria. So it's more about getting the fans back into the fold, winning back the love that they lost at the World Cup, including your love for the Black Stars when they disappointed you yourself. So it's a chance for them to make amends and then make us fall in love with them once more.
Right. How tricky is this match?
It's a very tricky encounter. Yes, the Angolan team, when it comes to African football, may not be a powerhouse. They are miles below us in the FIFA rankings there, but you don't underrate such an opposition. Our last meeting was in 2010 in the AFCON, where Asamoah Gyan scored for the Black Stars in a 1-0 win. He was assisted by Kojo Asamoah. So a goal made by the Asamoahs, Asamoah Gyan and then Kojo Asamoah. So here we are after all these years to try and assert our dominance over the Angolans. Again, it won't be easy, but I feel that tricky or not, there's so much going in favor of Black Stars to win this one. The home advantage, and then what I call the new manager syndrome. You know, when there's a new manager in charge, the players would like to play for him. Yeah. So all these are things that are in the favor of the national team going into this encounter. It's tricky, but it's a game they can win convincingly.
We wish them all the best, but finally, before we go, what are your expectations?
Well, I expect the Black Stars want to win this game. A draw will still not be enough for me. They have to win this game. And as Chris Hughton said, he's trying to build a winning Black Stars team. So I like to see that, a team that can win this game at all costs. He didn't tell us his brand of football. We don't want any terrible footballing skills today. They should play like a team. I expect them to transition the ball very well. They should defend properly. When they are going for low block defending, mid block defending, it should be very, very, like, it should be done in a coordinated manner. And when they attack, and I expect them to attack with pace, they should use their wing play more. And then I also expect a goal from Iñaki Williams. See, he's playing, he's not scoring. Iñaki, this is the time for him to at least get on the score sheet and make us dance. Obviously, by 6 p.m. when the game is over, I expect many Ghanaians to join me and let's dance to the Black Stars victory.
We wish them all the best, definitely. That was Citi Sports Evans Ofochu Manso. You are still listening to the Citi Prime News live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. Still ahead in the bulletin, a former finance minister and NDC hopeful, flag bearer hopeful, Dr. Kwabena Duffuor, has filed his nominations at the headquarters of the party. We'll bring you details of this and others shortly. Do stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
At the British Council, we know that our experiences in life are what shape us. The things we see, the places we go, the people we meet all make an impact on the future we create. Change is driven by people with dreams bigger than themselves. The chance to study abroad is the chance to make an impact, not just on your own life, but on the lives of the people you left back home. When you experience the world beyond borders, you can discover what's possible for the future you envision. When you set off to further your education abroad, you can return empowered and ready to put your plan for change in motion. Great experiences